Hey there, fellow wanderers. As the first streaks of dawn struggle to pierce through heavy wooden shutters, you find yourself waking up in the heart of the Middle Ages. The cool air clings to your skin, mingled with the earthy, damp aroma that whispers stories of age-old stone walls. Birds outside serenade a new day, their chirping a contrast to the stillness that wraps around you. The quiet murmur of a nearby brook punctuates the morning, and you pull your threadbare blanket closer to ward off the chill. A candle flickers, casting dancing shadows that weave through the small room like ancient phantoms. This is not a fairy tale, it's the reality of a medieval peasant. And among the many daily rituals of survival rising with the sun, hauling water, breaking fast with coarse bread, there is one detail most forget: keeping your teeth clean. No minty toothpaste, no sonic toothbrush, just twigs, ashes, salt, and luck. But yes, they tried, and what they did might surprise you. So before we dive deeper, I ask only this. If this kind of raw, unvarnished truth speaks to you, click like, hit subscribe, and leave a trace of yourself in the comments. Tell me your city, your time, your state of mind. Now, dim the lights. Let the hum of your fan blend with the wind of centuries past. Let's begin. And remember, in medieval times, even survival was a luxury. Your day begins in simplicity, with little fanfare and much diligence. Lifting the rugged cloth that shields your small window brings in a sliver of gray morning light. Framed by crude wooden timbers, the outside world barely acknowledges the existence of dental hygiene, yet here you are, mindful of your teeth in the absence of modern conveniences. Gone are thoughts of minty freshness or electric buzzes. Instead, your regimen is carved from necessity and resourcefulness. You lean over a roughly hewn basin, a hand-carved wooden bowl filled with water from the nearby stream, cool and slightly metallic on your lips. This rudimentary wash clears your mouth from the remnants of humble fare yesterday's coarse bread and stew, full of hearty roots and smoked meats. As a medieval peasant, dental care is as much an art form as it is a survival tactic. The softness of your palate welcomes twigs, early ancestors of the modern toothbrush. These branches, perhaps from a walnut or a young birch, are chosen not just for their resilience but their mild flavors, adding a hint of the forest to your morning routine. Adjustments are personal, some you gnaw at, fraying fibers to create bristle-like textures. This task, though mundane, connects you to the origins of oral care, back when an understanding of human anatomy was as enigmatic as distant stars. Scholarly debates rage gently, arguing if the use of such rudimentary tools was discovered independently across communities, or if it emerged from some shared ancestral wisdom. Fingers acting deft as tongue and thumb massage gums, not merely to cleanse but to maintain circulation in gums. Herein lies the fundamental quirk of medieval life, embracing a tactile connection with your own body, an intrinsic second nature when conveniences are yet to be birthed from industrial revolutions. As you shuffle within your small world, there's a gentle peace in the simplicity of it all. The juxtaposition of your mundane ritual and the pastoral beauty outside chirping field crickets. A light breeze bending tall grasses invites reflection upon the binaries of human experience. There's a certain irony, one might muse, in having such primitive hygiene methods juxtaposed against the serene beauty of the world outside, a world where resources can be both bountiful and elusive. But amidst this, there looms the ever-constant reminder of Class Divide 7 in personal cleanliness, and how any variation thereof subtly marks social standings. Your earthy path and rustic dwelling contrast sharply with notions of opulence found in castles, where the court leans into more elaborate, albeit still primitive, hygiene practices. But despite this, each day in the medieval world offers a new opportunity to practice the art of simplicity, connected to the earth and mindful of resource usage. As another morning begins, you, like many, brush against the fringes of history, partaking in an ancient ritual that transcends time, one rooted in practicality, mythology, and the whispers of health, all of which will gradually, unknowingly lay the foundation for the detailed studies and advances that the future will hold, continuing this ongoing narrative of human ingenuity. The familiar clatter of morning life outside your door melds with the thought of tackling another day. The village stirs with the rustle of workers and the low hum of livestock. But as you prepare to step into the earthy rhythm of medieval living, your attention snaps back to the matter at hand, or rather, in hand the misunderstood toothbrush. Long before the gleaming, character-themed brushes of the modern age found their way into bathroom tumblers, your medieval counterparts find solace in simplicity. You reach for a twig smooth yet firm, with just the right amount of give to it. Today, it's a piece from a walnut tree, known for its mildly sweet scent and effectiveness. The twig you clutch isn't just any piece of wood. It's a twig carefully selected, trimmed to a few inches, stripped of excess leaves, and moistened with a bit of water, ready to be transformed by your incisors. Like an artist's tool, its utility is revealed in the way you chew its end delicately. Each bite splits the fibers into a crude brush, resembling a sprouting broom or a bristled paintbrush. As you gnaw, the action isn't just mechanical, it's deliberate, connecting you to centuries-old practice. And here you have it. A tooth tool par excellence, beloved by peasants and traders alike. The ergonomics of a twig, possibly gifted by nature itself, offers you a sense of fulfillment, though humbly crafted. Scholars still debate whether the notion of twig gnawing as a dental tool travels through time as a shared human wisdom or evolves independently across cultures, much like fire or storytelling. With the fibers gently splayed out, you embark on this morning's ritual. A rhythmic brushing ensues, akin to polishing small stones, with precise and repetitive motion over each tooth. There is a natural grace and skill to it, much like scraping barnacles off a wooden hull. You're cautious in approach, sometimes blowing softly across the polished surfaces to remove debris. The process unwittingly becomes a moment of meditation, a rare gift of self-care amidst the toil of medieval life. You can almost hear the muffled soundtrack of time, the caw of crows harmonizing with wind through high tree branches, working over a gentle cadence set by your brushing. The notion of oral hygiene, even with your handmade brush, is not just about aesthetics here. There is pragmatic wisdom in maintaining what tools of survival the body offers. After all, the toothaches that plague village life are toys for neither noble nor peasant. A bad tooth could lead to infection, which you know all too well, could be a slow march to the end in these times. Historical tidbits echo in the practice. Some villagers whisper of tales where early travelers, those who tread boundless routes across deserts and over mountains, remark on Silva struggles the different taste twigs bring. You wonder how far your innocent brushing ritual has traveled, spanning across regions from the Silk Road to new continents yet undiscovered. Your tool itself bears stories etched by nature lines not drawn with ink, but formed by the elements, weaving narratives of winds and rains, of birds alighting from branches. Its simplicity belies its effectiveness, serving as a reminder that what's natural might also be most enduring. There's a gentle irony in the realization that what you hold to care for your teeth mirrors the very nature surrounding you, rugged, resilient, and adaptive. These early flossers and scrubbers become more than just implements. They are a link connecting age-old customs with future innovations. While you brush away the troubles of oral hygiene, far behind, the rest of society grapples with a vast cornucopia of needs and inventions, some to make life easier, others purely for vanity. Yet, here in your calm space, with your twig and the sparse surroundings, sophistication gives way to authenticity. Having brushed away the final crumb of sleep from your mouth, the morning's rustic ritual becomes both homage and duty. You recognize the lineage of humanity in your actions, planting the subtle seeds that evolve into today's intricacies of dental care. You rest the twig back on the small ledge beside you, ready for another morning, another pattern, as morning rituals gently segue into the day's larger callings. Stepping away from the comforting confines of your small abode, you're greeted by the fresh morning air and the earthy bustle of medieval life. As you walk along the uneven path into the hub of village activities, crisp dewdrops cling to your garments, a lingering reminder of nature's persistent embrace. Today, the market buzzes with activity, its lively energy pulling you into the heart of commerce and community. Stalls brim with the season's yield, and amongst the bounties of vegetables and cured meats lie the hidden treasures you seek. Herbs. These humble herbs, while integral to the flavor of a broth or a pottage, play a vital role in your oral health routine. Each herb has its particular place in the saga of medieval dental care. Mint, for instance, offers more than flavor. It acts as a breath freshener, leaving a cool, invigorating sensation in your mouth, chasing away the stale remnants of past meals. As you sample a sprig, the distinct fragrance unravels and releases an aroma both refreshing and familiar, teasing the senses awake. Historians still argue whether mint's ascendancy in the annals of dental care traveled via Eastern trade routes or grew from the fertile storytelling of local herbalists who heralded its benefits. Regardless, the common consensus among villagers is the herb's magical ability to disguise the coarse odors from days of hard labor. Beside the mint, attractive patches of sage tempt your attention. Sage is more than just a leaf. Its astringent qualities are whispered among villagers as possessing the power to clean both mouth and spirit. In the rich olfactory tapestry of the market, its slightly bitter aroma dances with an edge, promising purity and health. You pluck a sprig of sage, rolling its textured leaf between your fingers. A hint of bitterness, a smidge of earthiness. Its taste sharpens your senses and strengthens your resolve. As you chew, the herb's essence weaves its way between teeth and gums, coaxing a forgotten freshness back into your mouth. It serves as a gentle reminder of how nature provides cures, often just as potent as any concoction from a learned apothecary. Yet, sage is more than just a mouth freshener. Its inherent antimicrobial properties, though not yet fully understood in medieval times, are regarded as a guardian against ailments of the mouth. Villagers hail its cleansing capabilities, weaving it into songs and stories, deepening your connection with these green whisperers. Beyond singular herbs, the lore of the land inspires unique blends. A pinch here of dried rosemary, a dab there of thyme each contributes to the mysterious art of crafting a potion for the mouth. These mixtures incite both wonder and curiosity, passed down through generations by those wise to the land's secrets. As midday clouds lazily drift through azure skies, you weave your way out of the market, pouch of herbs swinging at your side. Walking past sun-dappled fields, the tender brush of wind cools your cheeks, and you realize how herbs, modest and bountiful, shape your approach to health. Humorously, you muse, this might be where you first learned that kale chips would never quite measure up. Through the landscape of small cottages and echoing laughter, the pervasive scent of herbs hangs in the air, a constant reminder of their significance. These verdant allies do more than season. They cleanse the mind, freshen the breath, and invigorate the body. In the evolving tapestry of medieval life, they are heroes, stalwarts by your side in the unceasing quest for health, planting seeds not just in gardens but in traditions that linger through centuries. As the day stretches on and the sun dips lazily towards the horizon, promising another dawn of rustic routines, you tenderly tuck the herbs away. There's a gentle understanding here. While much remains elusive in the quest for perfect oral care, each leaf is a discovery, and each infusion a tangible link to tomorrow's potential, reflecting your enduring commitment to weave these practices into the very fabric of life. The sun dips softly beyond the horizon, casting a gentle twilight glow as you find yourself back within the rustic walls of your abode. The warm, lingering scents of dinner, the earthiness of root vegetables, and the smoky allure of cured meat shang in the air. As stomachs slowly quiet with contentment, the ritual of oral hygiene calls once more, pulling you towards a different assortment of medieval concoctions, rinses, and mouthwashes. In an age where the swish and gargle of commercial mouthwash is merely a future curiosity, the peasants of the Middle Ages turned to the raw materials at their disposal, a delicate dance of alchemy and necessity. Here, the recipes brew from equal parts ingenuity and resourcefulness. You begin with an ingredient that seems ever present in your life: vinegar. Known for its sharp presence and astringent character, vinegar serves as a cleanser of the senses, as well as surfaces. The bite of its acidity, derived from wine or ale left to sour, offers an unexpected cleansing agent. As you swirl a small mouthful around, the taste is sharp, bordering on harsh, awakening every surface of your mouth with an unmistakable tingle. Vinegar's potent profile promises more than just cleanliness. There's an instinctual sense of its purifying powers, its capacity to dispel the accumulated remnants of a day's meals and conversations. Overhead, historians still argue whether vinegar's introduction to oral hygiene travels from southern vineyards and merchants, or emerges from the intuition of some forgotten cottage healer. Regardless, it is revered for its tenacity against the byproducts of meager medieval cuisine. Along with vinegar, leftover wine offers another cleansing option, albeit a gentler one. As you sip and swish, the echoes of past festivities briefly revive in your palate. The subtle warmth of the wine, with its intricate blend of notes, sweeps through your mouth, extending its own brand of refreshment. Wine not only neutralizes odors, but shares a touch of luxury, as if elevating an everyday task to a moment of modest indulgence. Brimming with this newfound experience, you recall tales of those in higher echelons knights and nobility who possess a penchant for herb-infused wine rinses. These potpourri-like mixtures offer not just decay protection but prestige and sophistication, gestures not lost on those ever conscious of appearance. Gathering local herbs and tossing them into such a mixture might be seen as a winking attempt at emulating these upper-class moments. Here, perhaps, lies one of the charming contradictions of life: that even in simplicity, there exists a quiet yearning for indulgence beyond means the vinegar and wine caress. A peasant's unremarkable evening, while hinting at far-off indulgence. And yet, the most whimsical of rinse concoctions must surely be the saltwater solution. Together with salts scraped from evaporated pools, water becomes a curious mouth tonic. As you mix it in a small vessel, the light foam and briny taste envelops your mouth with reminiscences of the sea, a place as distant as it is mysterious. The mild abrasive quality and antiseptic nature ensure a clean finish, leaving you not so much relishing the taste, but appreciating the effects. The science behind your medieval mouthwash remains a mystery, locked behind the natural order of intuition passed through whispered words and practice, colored by the community's habit and individual necessity. The burnt edge of the wine barrel furnishes one flavor, while the underlying minerality of stream water adds another, each forming a layer to this ancient art. With night deepening and whispers of stars peeking through the tavern-muddled sky, these oral rinses mark a ritual as timeless as the glow of the constellations. Somehow, amidst the rudimentary alchemy, there lies a quiet truth about the tenacity of the human spirit, a sort of persisting elegance and simplicity, existing beyond time, bridging past and future pursuits in oral care. As everyday aromas settle, the soft rustle of fabric becomes a gentle lullaby, and your eyelids begin their slow descent into the night. There remains comfort in knowing that tonight, your sleep, like those before you, is cradled by the invisible grace of cleansing vinegars and wines, heralds of hospitality, wellness, and timeless cycles of life. As the morning sun stretches its golden arms over the medieval landscape, it finds you already awake, engrossed in the next chapter of your daily routine, preparing your teeth for another day of rustic fare. A task both humble and daunting, it draws your attention to the gritty underworld of medieval toothpastes, intriguingly textured with ashes and salt. You crouch beside a small hearth where the night's fire has left a generous bed of cooled ash, its ashen fingers an omnipresent reminder of hearth and home. This simple residue, a byproduct of warmth and cooking, becomes the backbone of your primitive cleaner. Ash, you've learned, in its myriad variations from wood, bone, or even snail shellsis, prized for its abrasive qualities, perfect for scouring the stubborn remnants of yesterday's bread and porridge. With a flick of your wrist and a practiced grace, you gather some of the fine gray powder into a small wooden bowl. Its texture is coarse and slightly grainy, a familiar sensation under your fingertips. Mixed with a splash of water, it forms a rudimentary paste that promises to rid your teeth of unwelcome guests. This is your toothpaste concoction, seemingly inhospitable, yet effective. Adding to this medieval paste, you pinch a couple of coarse grains of salt, each glittering like tiny stars caught in the morning light. Salt, cherished as a preservative and seasoning, finds its dual purpose here. Its gritty texture complements the ash, providing an extra abrasive element to the homemade cleave. Historians still dispute whether ash toothpaste originates from oral traditions passed down through generations or is a product of personal experimentation amidst medieval kitchens. However it began, it offers vital exfoliation for tooth surfaces. As you dip your frayed twig brush into the paste, you can almost sense the collective effort of all the peasants before you who have navigated these leafy roads of oral care. With a gentle yet firm motion, you apply the mixture to your teeth. The taste is intensely earthy, underscored by the sharp tang of salta medley that, while far from the mint-infused concoctions enjoyed centuries later, is strangely satisfying in its own way. As grit meets enamel, it uncovers hidden nooks, dislodging remnants of wheat and mutton tucked away. Mindfully, you scrub each tooth as if polishing old silver, aware of the balance between cleansing and wear. You might chuckle wryly, considering this a medieval exchange between beauty and burden. Besides its dental efficacy, the ash's alchemical properties extend to the broader sphere of medieval life, entrusted with extinguishing fires and reducing odors. Its unsung virtues, embraced from grand fortresses to humble cottages, continue to underscore its true worth amidst daily exigencies. Of all substances, there is a quiet irony in the fact that ash, derived from the destruction of life-giving wood, becomes an integral part of sustaining health and well-being. Similarly, salt, when too plentiful in wounds, acts as a torturous cleansing, yet in small doses helps nurture oral health, a medieval paradox, delicately balanced upon the scales of tradition and toil. As you finish brushing, the harmless ash powder offering a dull shine, you sense the profound connection forged through this daily ritual. It bridges past and present, connecting you to those gathered around hearths long ago, sharing stories and secrets over flickering flames. With the morning now in full swing, you rinse your mouth, releasing the sediment and debris into the gentle embrace of the earth. This uniquely textured toothpaste reminds us that convenience and comfort, words foreign to medieval days, are often accompanied by roots deeply entwined in narratives yet untold. Each brushstroke is an act of homage to heritage, each granule of salt a testament to endurance. As you continue your stroll down paths toward the day's labors, the earth, ash, and salt will remain with you not just as residue, but as the very fabric of personal care and medieval life, a stitch in the vast, untamed quilt of human history. The gentle hum of village life surrounds you as mid-morning opens its arms, welcoming you into its embrace. Smoke curls from cottage chimneys, adding a hazy filter to the sun-drenched scene. Amidst this daily flurry, your thoughts remain rooted in the continued quest for dental cleanliness. Today, your focus lingers on a tried-and-true medieval stand-by the chew stick. Walking along the well-worn path toward the forest's edge, you immerse yourself in the tightly woven tapestry of daily life. You witness fellow villagers at their respective chores, each absorbed in an age-old rhythm, a timeless symphony where tooth cleaning is but one humble note. This consistency, though grounded in simplicity, exemplifies the resourceful spirit of the age. As you pass, cheerful nods and brief exchanges highlight the small comforts and shared burdens of community life. Reaching the soft boundaries of the woodland, you delve into its dappled shade. The forest is a living library, shelves lined with branches and leaves, each holding secrets passed through generations. You zero in on a patch of trees, particularly favoring the young, pliant branches that yield easily beneath your grip. Each potential chew stick a testament to the forest's bounty. Removing a slim, supple branch, you peel away the twigs and leaves, revealing a fresh sapling core beneath its rough bark. With each strip you remove, the verdant signature of nature's bounty imprints on your fingers. The stick's woody fragrance blends with the rich aroma of fertile soil, wrapping itself around your senses. This small stick, though unimpressive at first glance, is elegantly simple in purpose. It reflects an intrinsic harmony with the natural world. Chew sticks, known also as miswak or siwak in some cultures, have fascinating dualities. They serve both as a practical tool and a spiritual bridge to various cultural rituals. Historians still ponder if they evolve spontaneously among disparate communities or get shared through the whispers of wind and trade. You settle on the edge of a sun-dappled clearing, where you begin the art of chew stick preparation, a tactile appreciation of past routines that transcend time and culture. With subtle pressure, you bite down gently on one end, your teeth acting as sculptors, fraying the wood into bristles. Their fibrous ends unfurl like a wooden blossom, a nod to nature's ingenuity in need and aesthetics. As you chew, the twig softens, its exposed fibers finding their way into the crevices of your mouth. Each chew and scrub releases natural essences, herbal saps that mingle with your taste, weaving a serene blend of mild bitterness and organic freshness. This simplicity, this unassuming practice, complements the rhythms of medieval life, where survival intertwines with the subtle beauty of everyday rituals. The chew stick, a newly minted toothbrush in its nascent form, cleans with surprising efficacy. You work your jaw, setting the bristles to spin gently over each tooth, teasing out remnants of meals and banishing the grit of flour and seeds wedged in the nooks. The texture is solid yet adaptive, a renewable resource rooted in the soil's fertile floor. It is an early celebration of sustainability in an era of necessity. Beyond its practical uses, the humble chew stick holds a quaint social dimension. Among peasant gatherings, it finds favor as a tool of grooming, shared with companions in bonding rituals. This humble connection extends to evening feasts, where jesting and storytelling unfurl the stick, serving as a nod to shared tastes and intertwined destinies. The simple ritual straddles practicality and ceremony, thriving on everyday resilience. Unlike the elaborate charades of noble ivory-handled implements, your twig, constructed of resilience and nature's abundance, befits a legacy of practicality. It harkens to an age where human and nature are bound by intertwined fates and shared breaths amidst growing chaos. As the chew stick's work completes, and your mouth relinquishes the day's remnants to the sylvan embrace, you nurture a sense of achievement, a bond between barely visible fibers, echoing through time with grace and humility. This story, rooted in oral care, whispers in partnership with countless generations. Each chew, each frayed edge, each scrub, a testament to collective innovation and the rich dialogue between past and present. The day moves on, into the sun-painted horizon and toward new adventures that await, each moment a brushstroke in the colorful tapestry of existence. And yet, you remain assured of your connection to the transcendental nature of chew sticks, enduring in utility and legacy within this storied chapter of medieval life. The tranquil aura of afternoon envelops you as you move through the comforting bustle of medieval life, greeted by the warmth of sun-dappled lanes and the gentle cacophony of village interactions. Today, your thoughts meander toward yet another fascinating facet of medieval oral care: charcoal. Reports of charcoal used for teeth cleaning might conjure visions of soot unscrupulously smudged across your grin, offering more mirth than metaphor for cleanliness. However, as you delve deeper, you find these misconceptions unfounded. Charcoal, forged from the heart of fire-dancing wood, is embraced not just as a fuel and purifier, but as an unexpected ally in tooth care. Charcoal's appeal lies in its deep, absorptive quality, a medieval paradox of darkness, promising clarity and cleanliness. As you wander toward the heart of the village square, the familiar sights and sounds blur into a symphony of routines. You trade warm greetings with fellow villagers, peasants whose knowledge of local lore becomes the lifeline in this historical landscape. A morning spent gleaning through the woods, or under the watchful gaze of towering hearths, leaves you hands stained with evidence of tarry residue. Charcoal's grip clings determinedly to nail beds, and its pungent, smoky aroma tends to linger, a scent unmistakably tethered to rustic endeavors. Many of your friends and neighbors swear by its ability to whiten teeth. They believe that, despite charcoal's contrasting appearance, it possesses a strange magical cloak of grit that lifts stains from the teeth as effortlessly as sweet melody carries through the air. Historians still argue whether the early adaptation of charcoal as a tooth cleaner rises from chance discoveries or shared secrets of ancient craftsmen and armorers. As you collect a small bowl of charred fragments from last night's fire, you ponder the history woven into these pieces. Charcoal's velvety surface once lived a different life, part of mighty trees bowing beneath tropical rains, the stories it might tell, should embers retain whispers. Grinding the chunks into a fine gray powder yields a contrast to the buttery sun streaming overhead. The friction's soft crunch echoes faintly in the small, picturesque square, reprising its part in the cyclic stage of oral care. You find an intimate satisfaction in turning the fragments into utility, blending the powder with water to create a thick, inky paste. You return to your trusty chew stick, its bristles already familiar with the routine of daily conquest over grit and grime. As you daub the charcoal paste upon it, there's a momentary pause awaiting the transition from myth to method. By now, you embrace the curiosity more willingly. In application, the coal-black mixture spreads across your teeth, offering an unfamiliar yet strangely satisfying abrasion. You can almost feel its micropores at work, adhering to surface stains, drawing them away in a process not entirely understood, but readily accepted. Your movement is rhythmic, wax on, wax off, like polishing old armor back to its gleaming splendor. But here lies charcoal's duality. Some users, those haunted by charcoal's notorious abrasiveness, claim it imparts its own stains if wielded too liberally. A cautionary note warns against too frequent use, lest it erode tooth enamel, a silent agreement spanning eras within the discourse of dental care evolution. Yet, you embrace its quirks, juxtaposed against the brew of herbal remedies and gritty pastes that form your oral tapestry, the intricate dance of medieval oral hygiene, each ingredient vying for elemental supremacy. Charcoal's shadowy finish, like the village's twilight hues, invites contemplation about hidden depths and secrets forever bound within the tapestry of darkness and light. As you rinse away the charcoal remnants, releasing their hold upon your teeth into the receptive earth, the afternoon sun cradles your refreshed mouth in its gentle embrace. You sense an ancient alchemy, a transformation wielded from what man assumes is ruinous residue into a formidable force of cleansing grace. Leaving the last impressions of charcoal behind, you walk on no longer a stranger to its charms or contradictions, a pilgrim in pursuit of purity, threading a thoughtful journey through the nebulous pathways of history, from firewood's life to grinning teeth, all bound by the woven weave of medieval life. With the late afternoon sun casting long shadows across the well-trod paths of your village, you find yourself drawn to the peculiar and sometimes perplexing practices of oral care in medieval life. Today, we explore a realm where imagination meets necessity, a realm where animal ingredients find their way into your holistic dental routine. As a medieval peasant, you live closely intertwined with the cycles of nature and the bounty it provides. Every element, from the soil beneath your feet to the creatures that roam the fields, is utilized to its fullest. This pragmatic approach extends to oral hygiene, where even the most unlikely of materials such as animal byproducts are used with surprising creativity. Venture into the village square, where the chatter of merchants and the cries of vendors create a vibrant backdrop. Here, in the heart of commerce, You see traders and villagers exchanging not only goods but stories and knowledge-shared experiences that fuel innovation and adaptation in everyday life. One of the more unusual ingredients in your dental care arsenal comes from humble sources like eggshells. As you carefully clean an eggshell, you can't help but admire its pearly surface, a miniature marvel of nature's engineering. Historians speculated whether its inclusion in oral care comes from traditional recipes or is a byproduct of frugality that cherishes every piece of sustenance. Alongside eggshells, another surprising entry in this animal kingdom of oral care is the powdered antler. Perhaps it is the deep-rooted belief in the antler's vigor and strength that inspires its use, grounding this practice in folklore and the perceived power of such wild symbols. While not as commonplace in your daily routine, these elements echo with whispers of mythical guardianship and protection against the dreaded toothaches. The preparation of such dental pastes involves a dash of imagination and a sprinkle of practicality. To create your own medieval version, you begin with grinding the eggshells into a fine powder, reminiscent of ivory snow, and combine it with well-crushed antler. The sounds of grinding, reminiscent of small cascades, provide a rhythmic accompaniment to your work. Combined with basic salts or plant-based fibers, the concoction is transformed into a coarse pastilla passage into history's alchemy, safeguarded by time's custodians. The texture is gritty, almost sandy, yet its promise of cleanliness and protection overshadows any reservations. With the paste ready, you face a moment of whimsy, contemplating the oddities that make up this animal-infused cleanser. Even amidst the rough-hewn elements of medieval life, there's an appreciation for these subtle nuances of survival, a quiet humor in the lengths to which one goes for oral health. As you apply the paste to your teeth using your trusted twig brush, the gritty mix unfolds its narrative across your mouth. Each brush, drawing the essence of earth and beast, a testimony to the interconnectedness of life roots of ancient forests and echoes of woodland creatures, combining in macabre yet effective synergy. Though the taste leaves much to be desired, a peculiar blend of flavors that neither lingers nor delights the sense of accomplishment in combating dental problems with ingenuity persists. Every bristle's sweep across your teeth cleans as well as it fortifies, reminding you that resilience is born from the strangest of sources. While skepticism about the efficacy of these animal components occasionally bubbles up, the confluence of necessity and tradition provides you with steadfast resolve. After all, it's in these curious, creative acts that the backdrop of human history paints its quirkiest strokes, frivolous in intention, yet serious in pursuit. As you rinse away the last vestiges of this earthy concoction, your mouth feels invigorated, cleansed by a formula perhaps only those brave enough to have tried could appreciate. As the day's light retreats behind the wooded hills, these curious practices, a chapter woven into the book of oral care, remind you of the enduring spirit of adaptability shared by all humans, living and learning side by side with nature's enduring gifts. As the evening sun dips below the horizon, casting a soft amber glow across the village, you gather the remnants of the day and prepare for a less hectic, quieter routine. The world slows, and the village settles into a serene lull perfect for unwinding with bedtime dental rituals, an ending habit that, though simple, is steeped in the rhythms of medieval life. Many of your fellow villagers are already tucked into their homes, preparing for the night with the same rituals that frame daily life, bridging dusk and dreams. As you find your place within this nighttime symphony, a familiar calmness washes over you, enveloped by the gentle sounds of crackling fires and whispered conversations. Your evening routine begins with the gathering of water. The village well, that timeless symbol of community, stands firm against the encroaching darkness. Its water cool, clear, and infused with the earthiness of its journey's herbs as a refreshing start to your ritual. You fill a small wooden basin and carry it home, careful not to spill a precious drop. Returning home, the air inside is warm and distinctive, a mingling of smoked peat and dwindling firelight. Husks of the day's labor sit stacked like reliquaries, cataloging your efforts. The dimming light creates an intimate, shadow-lined space, ideal for introspection and peace, a setting that invites you to gently slip into the evening's cares and conversations. By candlelight, you assemble your tools, a chew stick, stained visually by the legacy of daily use, yet effective nonetheless, and, perhaps, the leftover mix of an herbal concoction from the previous day. This familiarity settles into your evening like an old friend, quietly marking time and tradition. Historians often debate whether early dental rituals were purely mechanical, born out of necessity, or if they carried deeper, perhaps more spiritual, meanings. This evening's routine, however, seems to meld seamlessly with the rhythms of mindfulness, the care of teeth symbolizing the care of self. The chew stick comes to life with the rejuvenating touch of water, its fibers gradually softening, ready once more to spell out cleanliness over your teeth. In this meditative space, each chew and scrub transcends practicality, echoing gentle homage to ancestors who pioneered such rituals in their bid for health and harmony. Setting the clean stick aside, you sip a soothing tea brewed from the remnants of mint leaves and chamomile flowers, their delicate fragrances a tender counterpoint to the day's earthy residue. The tea's warmth and sweetness soothe your throat, leaving a mellow aftertaste that bridges the gap to slumber. With an ease that belies the day's toil, you run your tongue over your freshly cleaned teeth, a tactile stamp of health and persistence. In this minuscule mirror of rituals past, you find a quiet pride, a sense of continuity with the generations who have brushed their way through history's storylines with similar tools and tenacity. As shadows deepen around, the distant sounds of night take lead, the lullaby of owls and the gentle rustle of leaves. You settle into your bed, feeling the soft caress of linen and the warmth it brings. The rituals of the day are by now a languid memory, slowly slipping from conscious thought as dreams begin their nightly descent. In this winding down of the day, your teeth rest just as you joined in a companionable silence by the earthy touches of your medieval surroundings. The village itself seems to close its eyes, breathing softly in the balmy air of evening, as each household, tethered by routine, embraces the embrace of night. With the hushed snick of drying timber and the faint dance of lingering firelight, you drift toward the healing haven of sleep, assured by the continuity of your chosen rituals. The blend of old and ancient whispers like a lullaby, guiding you through twilight and into the gentle balm of dreams. Each night, woven with care and ritual, becomes a refuge for your body and spirit, where the day's efforts dissolve into the soothing embrace of moonlit slumber. Morning rises anew, and with it comes a tapestry of subtle stimuli: fresh dew on cobblestones, the chattering hum of waking birds, and the wafting aroma of warm bread from distant kitchens. As you step into this lively embrace, your thoughts turn towards the broader influences shaping your day-to-day life, especially the cultural impact on something as intimate as dental hygiene. In medieval Europe, a melange of traditions and practices from various lands converges and diverges, creating a rich tapestry of oral care rituals. Each region contributes its peculiar stamps on hygiene, a fact both mandated by climate and motivated by local resources. Today, you find yourself pondering these diverse influences, envisioning how far beyond your village boundaries such impacts might stretch. Walking through the hodgepodge of village sites, you recall that across vast landscapes, subtly different approaches to dental cleanliness blossom. In the north, for instance, colder climes encourage the use of herbs stored through seasons long and dark. Settlers tucked between jagged fjords develop their own herbal tinctures and pastes, filled with leaves that endure long, harsh winters, like juniper and myrrh. Further south, closer to the warmth of the Mediterranean, you can imagine a shift in perspective, where citrus and olive oil infuse the air with their aromas. Here, trading lanes thrive with bustling commerce, allowing southern dwellers to acquire remnants of exotic eastern spices and cloves, their aromatic oils imparting sweetness and freshness to oral care concoctions. You hear tales of travelers swishing perfumed concoctions, a nod to the region's Mediterranean wealth now interwoven with Eastern charm. Historians still mull over whether these cultural amalgamations occur organically due to geographical proximity or if subtle exchanges foster them along meandering trade routes. The mystery only enhances the allure of these distinctive rituals, each region contributing its own narrative strands to the detailed tapestry. This cultural mixing pot extends to the class distinctions within the same village. While you and your fellow peasants rely on natural and locally sourced materials, your surroundings hint at the wealthier sphere layers above, where imported commodities are celebrated teeth-cleaned with fine Mediterranean oils and exotic potions procured from far-off lands. Your local apothecary, a keeper of secrets both dear and mundane, finds excitement in tracing the origins of foreign remedies, whispering their tales to anyone keen to listen. There's a special allure in possessing roots that touch distant land stanchions found in the silken textures of faraway tales, their filtration enriching your own practices. Even within the familiar bounds of your small corner of the world, subtle influences overlay. The whispering trees provide twigs for your brushes, the herbal markets teem with local flora rosemary, thyme, and sage-all, speaking of the fertile richness around you. But within this abundance, hints of Italian alabaster, French lavender, or Spanish salt emerge, each bearing its fingerprint on daily life. As you find your way back home and your thoughts turn to evening routines, you face the realization that these cultural cross-pollinations shape your identity. The twigs you gnaw on, the mixture you concoct, and the influences you weave into your rituals represent not just practicality, but an ode to shared heritage and collective wisdom. These converging cultural lines continue to resonate, forming an invisible interconnected web woven across medieval Europe. The echoes of foreign lands travel through your hands, coloring your approach to oral hygiene with an unexpected richness, a quiet conversation of continents that speak through the whisper of leaves and the grit of grounded roots. In your humble household, these cultural infusions meld into a seamless tapestry, threading together humanity's vast skein of oral care practices. Each inspired touch in your routine radiates outward to encompass regions, peoples, and millennia, reminiscent of how intimately we are all connected through the cultural stories that silently guide our hands each day. Stepping across the threshold into night's comforting cloak, you cling to these invisible threads, reaching out across time and distance. Every action, every brush, bears whispered tales of a world beyond your own, a silent symphony, enriching your practice, revealing the shared echoes of human endurance and endeavor. As the sun ascends slowly in the sky, its gentle rays casting a warm glow across the village, you find yourself drawn to the source of medical care and oral expertise in this medieval enclave, the barber surgeon. These figures, clad in coats stained with the hues of countless concoctions and tinctures, occupy a unique space in your community, straddling the roles of healer and craftsman, conferring both awe and trepidation. In this time where specialization in the medical arts is rare, the barber surgeon serves as the closest approximation to a dentist you might encounter. With a diverse skill set that includes setting bones, performing bloodletting, and extracting teeth, they navigate the crossroads of health with a mix of intuition and rudimentary science. Arriving at the small shop that doubles as their practice, you're greeted by a cacophony of sounds, a harmonious arrangement of clinking metal tools, the grinding of herbs, and the interchange of soft conversations as villagers consult with this multifaceted healer. The aromas of assorted balms and burnt herbs intermingle, creating a fragrance both inviting and faintly antiseptic. As you step inside, the barber surgeon greets you with practiced ease, the tools of their trade arrayed in neat rows, a curious blend of instruments for haircutting and minor surgeries. Within this intimate space, under the gentle flicker of candlelight, you glimpse the implements used for dental care, the ominous pliers, crafted from sturdy metal and wood, and thin steel prodding tools that probe with precision. There's a certain edge, a frisson of anxiety, present in the room as you understand that as much as these healers can aid, They also preside over procedures ripe with discomfort. Tooth extraction, for many, is a last resort, approached only when pain eclipses endurance. With no anesthesia beyond the herbs that might dull but never wholly mute the agony, it's a spectacle of raw courage. Historians still argue whether the barber, surgeon's laconic skills evolve from ancient classical teachings or are pieced together from travelers' tales and trial and error. Regardless, what they offer stands as the pinnacle of organized dental care amidst a world of folk remedies and self-sufficiency. Not all their methods are to be counseled with dread. Some approaches favor gentleness over raw force. A paste of moss and hunya simple concoction heralded for its soothing properties finds favor in their repertoire, soothing the ache post-extraction or when inflammation plagues the gums. With careful precision, they apply poultices combining herbs like chamomile and sage, gently persuading swelling to subside. As you observe a villager consulting with the barber surgeon, the conversation sprinkles terms of wisdom intermingled with common sense. Advancing certain toothless remedies, like rinses brewed from rosemary or tinctures laced with clove oil, discourages discomfort in the aftermath of treatments. Here, despair gives way to hope under the barber, surgeon's guiding hand. The range of their expertise seeps into community tales, villagers swapping anecdotes of near-miraculous cures as readily as they might gossip about crops or weather. These stories make their rounds, emboldened by truth and hyperbole, casting the barber-surgeon in a light of storied reverence. As you withdraw from their abode, back into the wide embrace of the village with its tousled fervor, the lines between healer and patient blur. In this medieval milieu, where superstition often holds sway, the barber, surgeon's combination of pragmatism and art speaks of indomitable human spirit, reaching across the bounds of science known and delving into the inner soul of healing. Each encounter with their craft solidifies your understanding of medicine's evolving narrative. Even amidst the fraught nature of dental careware, every procedure's outcome stands as much a question of fortune as exists a delicate dance of life and progress. In your own way, aided by the barber, surgeon's guidance and tools, you navigate this realm with a newfound awareness. Teeth not only bite through the richness of bread but open doors to stories of resilience, hope, and shared human spirit, whispering age-old secrets along every cusp and crown. As the sun reaches its zenith, casting a warm glow over the village and illuminating the intricate dance of daily activities, your mind wanders toward a heated topic of medieval discourse, the dental debates of the age. In this era of limited resources and varied cultural practices, whether tooth care is seen as an indulgence or a necessity becomes a matter of ongoing conversation. Among your fellow villagers, opinions differ widely on the significance of maintaining oral health. As you stroll through the market square, you overhear snippets of conversations among merchants and peasants, each with their own views on how, why, or even if teeth should be cared for beyond the basic necessity. For some, the act of cleaning teeth is seen as a luxury, a ritual reserved for those with means and time to spare. These villagers focus on daily survival, prioritizing food, shelter, and warmth over the luxury of oral hygiene. In their eyes, using precious resources, herbs and oils for dental care seems extravagant when these same items can contribute to the nourishment and health of the entire body. Historians continue to debate the roots of this perception. Is it a relic from times when resources were scarce, and every leaf and root prioritized differently in the tapestry of human need? Or perhaps it originates from cultural practices where oral health carried less weight than other forms of body care. Regardless of its origin, the attitude persists, supported by centuries-old philosophies and limited medical comprehension of the far-reaching consequences of poor dental health. Conversely, others view dental care as essential, advocating for its daily practice alongside bathing and cooking. For these individuals, neglected teeth are seen not just as a harbinger of disease and discomfort, but as a reflection of personal and familial pride. A bright smile represents vitality and health, signals of resilience in an age where every dawn brings new challenges. Some even suggest that proper oral hygiene may curry favor with fate, aligning well-being with the divine harmony during a time when superstition is as great a force as logic. For them, the careful, deliberate acts of brushing and rinsing are meditative, akin to preparing fields for a bountiful harvesta, personal covenant with nature's own order. As you weave through the market, mingling with sellers of spices and textiles, you witness these debates play out in the decisions made around purchasing herbal tooth powders or simple salt mixes. Widows barter with what they have, trading fables of miraculous cures and alternative practices that promise the world from the humblest of ingredients. Embodying the convergence of belief and skepticism, the barber, surgeon's bench becomes a focal point, their recommendations lending weight to the undecided. Yet even their authoritative word leaves room for doubt, their practices sometimes yielding mixed results, reflective of the intricate dance between science and tradition. Beyond the village, in more affluent circles, the debate takes on another layer of complexity. Among the nobility, cleaning teeth with finely crafted tools and luxurious pastes made from imported ingredients is a symbol of status and refinement. Here, a maintained smile showcases wealth and sophistication, a rather different priority compared to the practical concerns of the peasant class. As the afternoon sun mellows and shadows stretch lazily across the square, you find yourself reflecting on these conversations. The necessity versus indulgence debate isn't just a simple dichotomy, but a spectrum across which various shades of human experience and belief intermingle. The rituals surrounding oral care speak volumes about individual choice and societal norms, challenging each person to find their equilibrium within the constraints of their world. While the backdrop of medieval life sets the stage for this lively exchange, the threads of these debates stretch into times yet to come, offering glimpses into the evolving relationship humans maintain with health, wellness, and identity. Wandering through these conversations today, you allow yourself to ponder the simple yet complex question of oral hygiene, its essence, value, and place in the delicate mosaic of medieval life. As the village settles into the tranquil embrace of late afternoon, shadows lengthening and the day's busy chatter softening to a mellow hum, your thoughts turn to the mystical undercurrents that flow beneath the surface of everyday life. These currents are filled with superstitions and beliefs that mold practices, including the curious intersection of these traditions with dental hygiene. In a world where understanding is often supplanted by inference and myth, medieval Europe thrives on tales and legends that offer explanations for the unexplained. The vibrant tapestry of superstition weaves its way into the fabric of dental care, adding layers of intrigue and mystery to even the simplest rituals. Superstitions abound in the minds of the villagers, including the belief that certain times of day are more auspicious for cleaning one's teeth. Dawn and dusk, those liminal spaces between light and shadow, are thought to be the most potent moments to purify the body and soul. Washing or brushing one's teeth during these times is seen as a protective ritual against evil spirits that might otherwise gain entry through a neglected oral cavity. As you pause near the village green, an elder shares stories gathered through time. This venerable figure recounts how, in some places, it's believed that to dispose of one's tooth improperly is to invite disaster. Therefore, teeth are often buried, thrown into fire, or hidden within the walls of one's homia, ritualistic safeguarding to avert the ill temper of spirits or curses that could manifest in the physical form through toothaches or sickness. Conversely, among the more benevolent tales lies the idea that placing a shed tooth within the rafters of the home might bring prosperity or swift healing. Historians still debate whether these practices stem from pagan roots or are born out of medieval Christianity's symbolism. The intertwining of religious iconography with oral health practices, allowing a simple tooth to symbolize rebirth and renewal, speaks to the profound connection between body, spirit, and superstition. The influence of celestial bodies also extends to teeth, with some villagers looking to the alignment of stars and planets when planning any significant dental undertakings. It's said that extracting a tooth under a waxing moon invites trouble, But during a waning moon's phase, the healing process is swift and sure. Whether such beliefs have any basis in reality is less the point than the comfort they afford a framework within which to understand an unpredictable world. As you stroll past cottages adorned with rowan and elder branches, believed to ward off evil, you consider that rituals involving heatened, particularly fire air, another connective thread. Ashes from sacred fires, added to homemade toothpaste, are believed to imbue not just physical but spiritual cleansing. The charm of oral superstitions is their dual nature. They both bind communities with shared practices and open avenues for individual expression. Each family might infuse their routine with unique touches, drawing on personal experiences or ancestral tales to craft a ritual as individual as it is enduring. Sometimes, the air hums with gentle mockery of these traditions, regarded by some as quaint but foolish. Yet, even those who claim disbelief often unconsciously incorporate these practices, bones steeped in tradition, living rhythmically with the customs of centuries past. As you return home, your footsteps cushioned in the soft grass, you reflect on the subtle power such beliefs wield over the daily choices of villagers. Superstitions bind together generations, imparting a continual blend of comfort and caution, each story a portal to a time when the unseen world danced closely with reality. Gathering these whispers from the past, you embrace the comfort that familiarity brings, a reminder that even the simplest acts can carry layers of promise and protection. The rich legacy of these beliefs, as entwined with oral hygiene as they are with larger cosmic plots, reflects the medieval spirit's resilience, dancing betwixt uncertainty and imagination with grace. As evening descends, painting the village in soft hues of twilight, you find yourself drawn to the flickering hearth, where the heart of your home beats steadily in tandem with age-old folklore. Around this warm glow, stories and remedies from times long past are shared, each one a delightful blend of wisdom and whimsy, especially when it comes to the mysterious realm of dental care. Among the tales that filter through the room, none hold both wonder and skepticism, quite like the lore of medieval remedies for tooth woes. These stories, engraved in the minds of generations, offer curious cures that range from the bizarre to the almost believable. One such remedy involves the magical properties of certain stones. Peasants are encouraged to carry a small rock in their pockets, believed to be harvested under the light of a full moon. This stone, when held against the jaw, is said to absorb the ache from a troublesome tooth, replacing it with a soothing warmth. Nestled as it is within layers of legend and lunar myth, this practice speaks more to the comfort of belief than tangible results. Equally captivating is the notion that tooth pain can be transferred. In the presence of a particularly persistent ache, some suggest whispering your troubles into the wind while holding a straw between your teeth, convincing the winds to steal away your discomfort. Historians might argue that such remedies are more theatrics than therapy, yet they hold sway in hearts that seek respite through the enchantment of nature. The light of the hearth continues to dance and shift, casting a warm, flickering grace upon the faces gathered here. Some recount tales of creatures or spirits who can heal, if propitiated correctly with certain offerings or prayers. A mischievous sprite, they say, might accept a plucked feather left outside a windowsill in exchange for a dental blessing. Whether such a sprite ever arrives to carry off a pain remains a mystery as tangible as it is intangible. Around the hearth, you also hear tales of herbal poultices, their ingredients mixed with doses of intention and lore as potent as any herb. Combining ground juniper berries and fresh nettle leaves, wise women create pastes to quell inflammation, tracing the line between fact and folklore with every application. These remedies, while their efficacy might remain in question, capture the imagination, beckoning even the most skeptical to wonder at the mysteries of the natural world. In the mix of such stories lies a powerful belief in the moon's influence over health, intertwining the cycles of celestial bodies with human wellness. For some, tooth troubles are acted upon only when the moon wanes, believing that lunar stages dictate corporeal harmonia theory debated and both embraced and contested in personal narratives. As the evening progresses and night deepens, laughter is woven into these tales. The absurdity often invites gentle jeers from the younger ones, while the more elderly among you recall times when desperation made believers of them all. Yet, the underlying allure of these folkloric remedies remains, connecting each listener to a shared heritage, as each knows someone for whom such attempts at relief became meaningful endeavors. These tales, filled with remedies both touching and strange, become threads in the larger human narrative, a blend of comfort, culture, and continuity that provides solace within the turbulent tides of medieval existence. Toothaches may persist, but the stories endure, offering something more timeless than certainty, a touch of magic in the mundanity of everyday life. As you step away from the gentle crackle of the fire and turn towards the quiet promise of sleep, you carry with you the echo of these stories. They linger in your thoughts, a testament to the creativity and resilience that define medieval life. Together with the village, you hold on to the rituals, both practical and whimsical, that bridge the space between today and tomorrow, past and future, hope and healing. As the night deepens and a serene stillness cloaks the village, your thoughts drift toward the spiritual dimensions that weave into the fabric of everyday life. In a world where faith and daily routines are inextricably linked, the influence of religion extends even to the intimate practice of dental hygiene. Within the sturdy stone walls of the village church, resplendent with dim candle glow and the soft whisper of incense, spiritual guidance permeates the community. Here, the clergy holds sway, their teachings shaping much of what defines daily existence, imbuing even the earthly act of tooth care with a celestial dimension. During Sunday sermons or whispered confessions, villagers are reminded of the interconnectedness between body and soul. Cleanliness, both inward and outward, is preached as a form of devotion, to reflection of one's respect for divine creation. For many, taking care of one's teeth approximates a sacrament, a commitment to honor the life bestowed by divine virtue. Historians still debate how deeply such doctrines penetrate oral care, but the evidence of their influence persists in regional practices and personal habits. As dusk fades to night, you picture the stained glass of the church's roundel, casting muted colors upon the stone Elisa painting of light and shadow, commingling prayer with simple acts of wellness. Parishioners are encouraged to invoke blessings over their daily rituals, transforming mundane acts into moments of spiritual reflection. Here, amid the ecclesiastical embrace, many believe that a simple prayer preceding toothbrushing or rinse crafting imbues the practice with protection against infirmities. Such rituals, soothing as they are significant, enable village life to sway with sacred rhythm, offering a divine safeguard for oral and bodily health. Moreover, the church's influence permeates the substances chosen for oral care. Among the favored resources, holy water holds a special place. Some villagers combine it with herbs to craft tinctures blessed with hope and divine grace. Similarly, attending services more frequently to light candles and offer prayers becomes an extension of one's hygiene routine, not only in seeking aid for ailing teeth but for purifying spirit and mind. In addition to sacramental waters, the church imparts an ancient rhythm via cycles of fasting and feasting, affecting diets and, by extension, dental health. The spiritual calendar, marked by Lent and Advent, creates fluxes in dietary intake which inadvertently reduces sugar-related tooth decay during those periods. During feasts, however, the opposite applies, leading to a curious dance of indulgence and restraint, both of which mirror in the health of one's teeth a celestial interplay between earthly delight and divine discipline. As the merry clink of evening bells rings softly across the rooftops, the church stands as a poignant monument among you, a touchstone for spiritual and practical wellness. Its presence underscores the deep-rooted belief that spiritual purity extends its blessings through actions into mundane routines of life. The solace of a psalm or grant of pardon can soothe a toothache's wretched persistence. Whispered invocations blend with herbal pastes, to extend faith beyond the ethereal, into practical engagements with the natural world. Through the union of faith and care, spiritual rituals offer both protection and order amidst the unpredictability of medieval life. Returning home under the shimmering vault of the night sky, you feel the resonance of these blessed acts, their quiet vow as steadfast as the stars above. These rites and traditions, woven into the sacred secular dance, nurture both your body and spirit, a treasured layer of oral care, sustenance for both soul and sinew. Settling into the welcoming warmth of your dwelling, your evening complete with pious reflection and reverent cleansing, you are reminded of the deep threads binding belief to practice. Each act becomes a prayer, every gesture a testament to the union of faith and practical wisdom woven through the ages into the tapestry of life. In the stillness of night, as sleep beckons, you find calm within this eternal heritage, a balance of piety and practicality, guiding you toward dawn's promise, united in a continuity that embraces the whole of human endeavor and divine design. As the first hints of dawn whisper through your window, golden light casting playful patterns on the walls, you find your mind drifting to the evolution of the humble tools that have accompanied humanity's quest for oral care. From rudimentary twigs to slightly more sophisticated instruments, these tools tell a story as rich and intricate as medieval life itself. In the corner of your room, a modest table displays an assortment of simple artifacts, those everyday implements that you and your fellow villagers rely upon to maintain the health of your teeth. Life in the medieval village offers a distinct glimpse into how necessity begets innovation, where each tool evolves from the raw materials readily available, yet deft in its simplicity. The most elemental of these is the trusty chew stick, known to you as a versatile ally since childhood. Its role as toothbrush ancestor is irreplaceable, carving its place among hearth and field as a symbol of resourcefulness. Today, as you take it up once more, you marvel at its enduring efficacy and adaptability, its fibers worn smooth through daily acts of thoughtful persistence. Beyond the chew stick, you begin to notice subtle evolutions. Those who favor sturdier options have been known to fashion their own rudimentary brushes from animal bones. With bristles made from horsehair or pig bristle, these early tooth tools begin to take shape under the careful work of craftsmen who devise, experiment, and share knowledge across the village network. Historians puzzle over whether such inventions emerge from parallel innovation in disparate towns or through steady whispers along the trade routes, connecting regions with shared curiosities. What remains certain is the ingenuity driving these endeavors and the way they subtly herald the future. Another artifact that jostles for space on the table is the small tongue scraper, fashioned from curved metal or wood. Some merchants bring these strange new devices from distant market towns, their function as obscure as they are intriguing. You learn quickly, however, that their careful use glides smoothly across the tongue, banishing remnants from the day's indulgences in meat and meat alike. Perhaps these scrapers are a quirky luxury, but for those who employ them, they offer an invigorating sense of freshly embraced novelty. As you handle each tool in turn, their tactile familiarity evokes a quiet satisfaction, a tie connecting you to ancestors who shared the same earnest pursuits. These incremental strides reveal a continuum of the human spirit's resilience, its unyielding trajectory towards betterment echoed in every crafted toothpick, in every sharpened shard of bamboo, and even in the tender fibers of a frayed twig. As you step into the heart of the village to share knowledge and exchange rumors around the communal well, you note how each person finds their own balance within the spectrum of innovation, how some embrace these rudimentary advances while others remain devoted to traditional ways. You note, too, the creativity of children who imitate their parents with miniature versions of these tools carved lovingly from scraps of wood. Their playful mimicking, though seemingly aimless, speaks to a future of continued adaptation, imagination kindling the flame of future generations. A part of you ponders the inevitable evolution. These rudimentary tools portend visions of polished metals and artfully crafted pieces that someday, no doubt, will appear beyond your grasp. For now, they serve to remind you of the transitional space you occupy, straddling the ancient and the embryonic phases of discovery. As the morning sun gilds the rooftops with a soft glow, you are inspired by this quiet evolution, a gentle thread weaving the past and future into each stroke, each brush, each cleansing moment. The tools in your hand, though simple, harbor the promise of what will come, teaching you that sophistication, like life itself, is seated in humble simplicity. As you embark on another day, this image lingers, a testament to the creative spirit that shapes your world. With each thoughtful stroke, you participate in a story perpetually being written, one where progress is a cherished neighbor to time, where every advance is a celebration, echoing the aspirations of countless generations seeking to perfect the delicate art of living. As the day unfolds and you resume your ritual journey through the village's bustling lanes, your thoughts wander to the broader cultural representations of teeth within medieval art and literature. These depictions reveal glimpses of society's perception and fascination with oral health, woven into the fabric of storytelling and artistic expression. In the village, art exists not only in the grand forms found in noble courts but in humble carvings, vibrant tapestries, and illustrated manuscripts that adorn the church and market stalls. Each image, each story, serves as a window into how medieval society views and values the human form, teeth included. Teeth, often symbols of health and vitality, find their way into many medieval tales. They appear in allegorical paintings where saints and sinners alike are depicted, saints with dazzling smiles radiating virtue and sinners bearing the punishment of blackened, decaying teeth. Historians suggest these portrayals stem from moral lessons, using physical appearance as a metaphor for inner purity or corruption. As you wander past the church, your eyes catch the colorful stained glass windows, casting hues of rubies and emeralds across the nave. Within these vibrant masterpieces, biblical scenes play out with intricate detail, and the faces of serene angels greet you with luminous smiles, their portrayal a testament to divine perfection. Walking along dusty paths, tales told by wandering bards or penned in manuscript margins come alive. Many are cautionary tales, where characters face dire consequences for their sins or folly, expressed with teeth grinding or gnashing, physical manifestation of their moral undoing. Folklore heaves with such imagery, each tale a conduit for transmitting the era's moral compass, shaping views not just of oral health but of human conduct. In the heart of the village marketplace, vibrant illustrations enliven the stalls, from woodcut prints to simple carvings crafted with care. Among them, portraits of revered patrons or ancient figures with crooked or missing teeth send subtle messages of earthly wisdom hard-earned through age and experience. Beyond these executions, expressive masks crafted for festivals and masquerades often feature exaggerated teeth. These ornamental excesses inspire both awe and fright, their elaboration echoing the dance between personal identity and communal storytelling, nod to mythology's omniscient specter and reflection of society's dual nature. In more scholarly tomes, emerging advancements in anatomy hint at burgeoning fascination. Authors and illustrators begin charting details of the mouth's internal labyrinth. Meticulous sketches, grace pages bound in leather and time, each etching a step toward understanding, reflecting a growing curiosity and reverence for what lies beneath the skin's surface. While this artistic expression communicates beauty and morality, it also invites empathy and self-awareness. Oral depictions and illustration find resonance in familiar stories and imagery, revealing glimpses into the shared human experience of love, fear, and mortality. As you thread past villagers engrossed in barter and banter, these artistic narratives remind you of the powerful role storytelling plays in reflecting and shaping perceptions of dental health. They invite you to ponder how notions of virtue, physicality, and identity converge to sculpt society's conscience and character. Reaching the end of the day, the chiaroscuro of evening shadows settles across the village once more, art and life merging into one. You marvel at the rich tapestry of medieval life, where every image and every tale imbues understanding, weaving the complex narrative of human existence. You retire to reflect on these artistic endeavors, understanding that teeth, these enduring symbols of vitality, reside at the heart of every personal story. Through art and literature, medieval society captures the essence of life's fleeting joys and trials, leaving behind an indelible legacy that resonates timelessly through the human spirit and its perpetual quest toward light and understanding. As twilight descends over the village, casting a soft, luminescent glow, your mind turns towards the intricate web of social hierarchy that defines medieval life. Among its many facets, the stark contrast in hygiene practices between the classes becomes ever apparent, including the distinct ways in which teeth are cared for or neglected. Walking through the narrow, cobbled streets, you observe the subtle dance of social status, an ever-present undercurrent influencing every aspect of daily life. The physical surroundings offer silent cues. The sturdy, half-timbered houses of the affluent loom over more modest wooden huts, their facades speaking volumes about the occupant's standing and access to resources. In the realm of oral hygiene, these disparities manifest in the tools and substances used, access predicated on wealth and knowledge. For the wealthier classes, the pursuit of cleanliness is both a necessity and a symbol of privilege. Their routines involve mixtures of imported ingredients such as crushed pearls, exotic spices, and herbs from distant lands, lavish pastes and powders designed to impress discerning peers. Stepping into a bustling marketplace, you witness merchants displaying such luxuries beneath protective canvas awnings. Here, noble patrons peruse displays, selecting fragrant concoctions infused with rose water or flavored with fine oils, imported at great cost from southern trade routes. These dental luxuries, driven by commerce and conquest, carry a sense of opulence that goes beyond necessity. For the noble class, keeping teeth clean is more than just a personal obligation. It's an expression of refinement and sophistication, a visual marker that separates them from the masses. Historians continue to debate whether these practices stem purely from aesthetic desires or hold underlying health motives. Either way, possessing a radiant smile becomes an indispensable attribute for those wishing to maintain their esteemed positions. Further along the street, amidst the clatter of carts and chatter, you sense the contrasting reality faced by the peasant class. Here, the emphasis lies on practicality, with oral care reduced to its most essential elements. Twigs, herbs, salt, and charcoal mixtures are the staples, readily accessible and requiring no extravagant outlay. You pass by families gathered around communal wells, drawing water and sharing cheerful exchanges. For many of these villagers, oral hygiene, while important, is scarcely a priority amidst the daily struggle for survival. Every resource is scrutinized for its promise of life, while conventions and excess lie beyond comprehension. In these households, the fruits of oral care come from traditions passed through generations, enriched by simple ingenuity, where warmth and community serve as the glues of daily life. Despite these enduring divides, fragments of overlap and exchange appear where villagers trade with journeymen, friars, and merchants, absorbing tales and innovations that may inspire subtle shifts in practices over time. Those privileged enough to hire the services of a barber surgeon temporarily bridge these divides, uniting classes through the shared necessity of health. As dusk falls and stars emerge to take their turn on the celestial stage, you gather in the communal spaces where stories spill from trading tongues, where myths and maids summon ancient rites against the rise of fortune and folly. These shared experiences tighten the bonds between villagers, tempering the contrasts with unity and spirit. The night deepens around you, and as you contemplate the quiet persistence of these social themes, you understand that in the middle of this tapestry lies a nascent yearning for equality, a distant beacon of enlightenment and hope. Protected by shadows, the village dreams on, its social distinctions temporarily softened by slumber's embrace. But by morning's light, they will re-emerge, continuing to color the landscape of medieval life, the real and reliable truths of differences that fuel the rhythm of medieval existence. In this reality, the value of each life and the promise of each new day remains cherished, a testament to the enduring human spirit amid the refined dance of destiny, survival, and aspiration. As dawn paints the sky with hues of amber and gold, the village awakens to the sounds of roosters, heralding a new day. This morning, your thoughts turn to the botanical wonders flourishing in forest and field, those very roots and barks that influence and support your modest pursuits of dental hygiene. Venturing from the beaten path, you find yourself embraced by the familiar, comforting wilds that stand sentinel over the village. Here, nature hums with life and opportunity, offering remedies and cures to those who know where to look. The forest, a living apothecary, is as vibrant as it is ancient. Among the treasures tucked within the dense undergrowth are the humble yet potent tubers and barks. These natural resources serve as a testament to human ingenuity, the interplay of necessity, knowledge, and discovery. Beneath the soil lie the tubers, roots that thrive unseen, waiting to be unearthed and transformed into tools for survival. One such tuber is horseradish, whose spicy tang and sweet aroma suggest more than a culinary delight. Within its fiber lies a cleansing agent, which facilitates the creation of natural pastes. Its juice, when harnessed judiciously, offers relief for both teeth and gums. You slice into it, its pungent scent sharpening your senses like a jolt of woodland briskness, preparing yourself for the day's challenges. In your hands, the soft bark of the willow holds promise, a resource rich in health benefits beyond what the untrained eye may gather. The gentle curve of bark shaved from trees offers a delicate absorbent surface, a natural buffer between hand and affliction. When crafted, its smoothness serves as both cleansing surface and reliever of discomfort. The magic of willow bark lies in its natural salicylate properties, the historical precursor to the familiar aspirin. Curiosity and innovation uncovered its potential as salve for aches and pains, a tacit agreement between nature and mankind. Though historians still puzzle over its initial discovery, the simple act of chewing willow bark to ease tooth pain connects your daily habits to this vast continuum of shared herbal knowledge. As you wander beneath the storied branches, you stumble upon the bark of birch trees, its snowy layers peeling gently to reveal supple strands. Birch, revered for its antiseptic properties, acts as a purifying agent when used in tooth care. Its taste is reminiscent of cool freshness, part of an age-long dialogue between earth and healer, offering relief to tender gums and weary breath alike. In these woods, you encounter stories within stories, finding a freedom and connection that transcends daily life. Herbal wisdom passes from wise woman to apprentice, from bark collector to villager, inscribed in the very fabric of communal shared lore. Returning to the village, your treasures in hand, you find fellow villagers gathered at the market's fringes, where the produce of earth recounts tales of resilience. Tubers manifest as more than sustenance, they become tools of survival, etching tiny markers of progress and ingenuity in the mind's landscape. As noon shadows gently lengthen, each step recalls the symbiotic relationship with the land, a testament to tactile tradition built upon the backs of bark gatherers and root seekers who dared to listen to the forest's wisdom. You tend to your own natural cache, preserving leaves, bark, and roots. In each cut and storage, you express gratitude for the land's bounty, a nurturing cycle reinvented through every inhalation of its voracious past. The daylight wanes, leaving you in shadows of twilight, a warm glow radiating from the harvest you cradled home. Here in these natural offerings, every tuber and bark embodies the promise of tomorrow and echoes the interwoven narratives of countless human lives seeking healing across time's passage. Entrusting yourself to the night's gentle surrender, you turn toward dreams where the embrace of forest and field shelter your path, anchoring the yearning to learn to protect, to heal, and to grow. With innocence, yet profound destiny. As the first stars twinkle into existence overhead, you find yourself drawn to the serene aspect of medieval life where spirituality and nature intertwine. Tonight, your thoughts rest on the spiritual cleaning rituals that go beyond the physical, aiming to purify the body and soul in a dance of faith and natural elements. Within the embrace of the village, faith pulses as a collective heartbeat, palpable in every whispered prayer and silent reflection. Tonight, the air hums with anticipation as villagers gather by the riverbanks, the shifting light of lanterns casting elongated shadows on the ground spectral dancers in a heavenly ritual. The river, a timeless witness to the rhythms of medieval life, serves as the setting for a community practice that weaves spiritual cleansing into the heart of nightly routines. Its waters, considered sacred by both custom and belief, mirror the cool twinkle of distant stars as they lap gently against the moss-covered stones. Villagers, clad in simple robes, approach with reverence, taking turns trailing their fingers through the gentle, shimmering waters. It is said the river possesses the power to wash away not only the physical residue of the day, but also to cleanse one's spirit, preparing you for the solace and renewal of sleep. These rituals are laden with meaning, reflecting an understanding that the mouth, this gateway to nourishment and expression, demands attention both tangible and transcendent. For many, the act of splashing cool river water into their mouths symbolizes purity and renewal, a chance to unburden one's conscience alongside one's palate. Historically, the confluence of faith and oral cleanliness can be traced to a myriad of sources, some whispering of ancient pagan rites, others citing scriptural echoes. Whether derived from folklore or more universal truths, these cleansing ceremonies bear the weight of centuries, offering solace amid a sea of earthly tribulations. The subtly perfumed atmosphere, infused with lavender and rosemary, gathered from the hedgerows, adds a tactile grace to the proceedings. These herbs, steeped in bowls around the circle, release fragrant tendrils of steam, curling through the evening air, adding layer upon layer of sensory experience to the ritual. Quietly, you join the procession, allowing the chill of the water to refresh your lips and cleanse your mouth, feeling the spiritual resonance of the moment coursing through you. Each splash, deliberately conducted, purifies not just in sensation but in intent, as whispered prayers weave through the night invocations of blessing, protection, and peace. This practice serves as a poignant reminder that beyond the physical sustenance offered by the earth lies an invisible, yet profound bond between human spirit and cosmosa, silent intertwining that releases the day's concerns, sending them gently downstream into oblivion. The reclining moon casts a serene glow, illuminating the heartfelt familiarity that resides within these shared acts of purification. It is in the congregation of these souls, each luminous in their shared faith, that true essence of community is found, driven by softly stirring hope and brimming with an unwavering trust. As the night deepens, the ritual gently winds down, the group dispersing with hearts lightened and souls renewed. The river, a silent witness to their devotion, continues its endless journey across time, whispering secrets and carrying prayers into the boundless dark, a testament to the potent beauty of belief. Returning to your dwelling, the river's gentle murmur lulls you toward rest. Through the calming embrace of twilight, you ponder the intangible threads binding life and spirit, those vivid patterns spun by centuries of tradition. You nestle your head upon a soft pillow, spirits cleansed, imbued with unyielding tranquility, harboring the dawn's promise of renewal in your heart's embrace. In sleep, you drift softly, carried by the murmurs of rivers and stars, resonating in a universe where spirituality and nature beckon gently, offering wisdom and solace to all who listen, wrapped in a tender embrace that transcends a single lifetime. As the morning sun peeks over the horizon, casting a warm glow across the village fields, your day begins anew, accompanied by the comforting rhythm of medieval life. This morning, your thoughts center on the role of diet in maintaining oral health. You contemplate how the foods you consume not only nourish your body but play a significant part in ensuring the vitality and cleanliness of your teeth. Emerging from your modest dwelling, The air is rich with the aroma of fresh bread baking in communal ovens. This staple food, a product of simple grains like barley and wheat, forms the backbone of the medieval diet. As you secure a loaf, still warm to the touch, you reflect on the role these coarse grains play in scrubbing teeth clean, acting as a natural, albeit rudimentary, brush. Grains consumed in unrefined forms require rigorous chewing, their fibrous textures working to dislodge remnants from the previous meal, stimulating gums and promoting oral health in an era before modern dentistry. It's a curious alignment of necessity and benefit, a testament to the wisdom embedded within the simplicity of medieval foods. Stepping into the lively bustle of the marketplace, your senses awaken to the vibrant array of seasonal produce. Root vegetables glow with earthy allure: carrots, turnips, and parsnips, each bringing more than sustenance, offering vital nutrients that fortify dental health. These anti-inflammatory properties work gently against the threats of gum disease, promoting longevity and oral resilience. Among the bustling stalls, you spot fruits chosen with care, their natural sugars often counterbalanced by fibrous skins. Historians still argue whether medieval diets, inherently low in refined sugars, were a deliberate health choice or stemmed from necessity. Regardless, this lack of excessive sugar consumption contributes significantly to the preservation of teeth, slowing decay in ways notably absent from future sugar-rich societies. Honey, nature's sweetness granted through the industrious buzz of bees, is a rare commodity, often revered for its medicinal properties. Its use in moderation sweetens life's moments and remedies alike, a far cry from the sugar excesses that follow in subsequent epochs. Venturing further through the market, you gather fermented foods, a staple that quietly aids oral health by balancing pH levels, reducing harmful bacteria, and enhancing the natural cleansing processes. Cabbage, transformed into tangy sauerkraut, is not just a culinary delight, but an ally, working in tandem with other foodstuffs to protect teeth from decay. Within the warmth of the communal gathering spots, you join fellow villagers in breaking bread. Here, meat often preserved and cured supplements the agricultural diet. While not as frequent a guest on the peasant's table, its presence brings valuable nutrients, lending strength to bone and enamel. As stories unfurl amidst shared meals, you recognize the communal trust in the land's gifts, a balance between earth and nourishment, cultivated through observation and tradition. What remains plentiful and accessible reflects a symbiosis that echoes through generations. Amid the day's labor and exchanges, you come to appreciate the power of nature's provisions. Each bite and every meal forms not just survival but a connection to a larger narrative, one where cultural practices align with healthful benefits, knitting together the tapestry of medieval existence. The sun climbs higher, casting shadows that stretch gently across the ground, a reminder of the cyclical dance between light and dark, growth and harvest. As you savor the tastes of your day's bounty, you feel gratitude for the sustenance drawn from the earth, woven into daily life not just as necessity but as a concord of wisdom. In this nourishing dance between self and soil, the medieval diet stands as guardian and guide, shepherding you toward health and resilience, its impacts subtly revealed in each smile, each steadfast tooth a cherished testament to the enduring harmony between nature, nourishment, and the delicate artistry of living. As the sun settles gently into the horizon, casting a golden sheen over the village, your thoughts turn to the ever-looming specter of medieval life, the dreaded toothache. In an era where medical solutions are scarce and often rudimentary, the sheer mention of a toothache can send a shiver through even the most stalwart villager. The onset of a toothache is a harbinger of pain, often magnified by the lack of remedies and the limited understanding of oral health. In the medieval world, when a searing pain begins to throb within the mouth, it quickly becomes a focal point, demanding attention and resolution amid the strivings of daily survival. In these moments of discomfort, you seek the counsel of village elders known for their knowledge of ancient wisdom and herbal lore. Their remedies, bound in the traditions of the past, offer a mix of relief and ritual, each attempt an exploration into nature's pharmacy, holding both promise and uncertainty. One such remedy involves the gentle application of clove oil, a pungent and warming salve derived from the dried flower buds, its use widely embraced for its numbing effect. As its heady aroma envelops you, the oil seeps into the aching flesh, offering a respite from relentless pain. This trusted ally finds a place in many a medieval household, steeped in history and whispered through generations. Gathering closer to the fire's comforting glow, you observe others using a poultice of mashed garlic and onion, applied carefully to the cheek. The heat and sharpness of these ingredients are believed to draw out infection and quell the flames of discomfort. While such methods may not extinguish an ache entirely, they provide warmth, hope, and an antidote against the helplessness of medieval life. Amidst these creative remedies, whispers abound of more spiritually rooted practices, the carrying of certain stones or amulets believed to protect against tooth pain, worn close to the body. These charms represent a fusion of faith and healing, adding a layer of mystical protection bolstered by collective belief and tradition. Historians debate whether such practices reflect a deeper psychological comfort more than a physical one, yet within the village, their celebration persists, a testament to the profound human desire for relief and connection beyond the physical world. More drastic measures might lead you to the door of the local barber surgeon, where extraction serves as the final reprieve from unyielding pain. The procedure, regarded with trepidation, involves precise skill and determination, with no guarantees of comfort or success. Here, in the cold embrace of metal tools, pain is the currency exchanged for relief, each extraction a balancing of necessity and bravery. As evening deepens, casting long shadows around the storytelling circle where tales of past triumphs and failures in the face of toothaches are shared and embellished, you find solace among friends and family. Lamentations and laughter weave together, forming a rich narrative that strengthens the bonds of camaraderie. You ponder the delicate dance of resilience required to navigate the midst of a toothache in a world where health remains an unpredictable companion. The communal sharing of remedies and stories becomes a balm unto itself, an act of weaving strength from shared experiences. The rise of the moon cradles the village in its silver embrace, and as night envelops the landscape, you feel the weight of these age-old challenges drift into dreams. Here, in the quietude of evening, comfort lies with you in the echoes of prayers, in the warmth of hearth, and in the gentle persistence to endure. In the tapestry of medieval existence, each toothache carries lessons beyond mere ailment. It imparts wisdom of human fragility and the enduring hope that fortifies the spirit. With the dawn, new opportunities await to uncover paths of healing and renewal, rooted deeply in nature's hidden lore and the collective heart of its people. As the first light of dawn weaves its delicate tendrils across the village, you awaken to the mystical facets of medieval life, those hints of magic that seep into the cracks of everyday existence. This morning you concentrate on the captivating world of healing charms and protective amulets, focusing on how they intertwine with oral health. Throughout the ages, humans have sought to harness the unseen forces of the world, and in the medieval village, such beliefs manifest in the form of amulets and charms. These objects, often crafted with care and worn close, are believed to hold protective powers that guard against ailments, toothaches among them. As you step into the crisp morning air, the village hums with the gentle stirrings of life reawakening. The chatter of voices and the clatter of pots form the backdrop to the intimate rituals carried out within each home, rituals that blend the physical with the spiritual. In your own dwelling, a small collection of cherished amulets lies in wait, each one imbued with personal meaning and woven with threads of hope. One of the most revered is an ancient amber bead, its golden depths capturing the light and radiating warmth. Believed to ward off illness and pain, amber's resinous core speaks of a time before time, where amber trees locked the sun's rays in their sap. By the entrance, a charm made of woven flax and graced with the feather of a magpie offers protection. This talisman, painted with whispers of protection from misfortune, showcases the village's enduring belief in the symbiosis of nature and fate. Historian debates linger over the origins of such practices. Do they originate from local folklore, or are they remnants of pagan worship interwoven with new spiritual paths? You trace your fingers along another charm, carved from bone and etched with runes, a gift from a passing traveler met at the crossroads of old Roman roads. Inscribed with runes of protection, this amulet serves as a reminder of journeys and the connections that span continents. Carrying such a talisman would ensure the favor of ancient spirits, enriching the bearer with strength drawn from its storied past. Beyond these crafted tokens lies another layer of magic, the healing chants and murmured incantations performed by wise women. Known for their knowledge of herbs and the turn of seasons, these healers harness the power of verbal exorcism to coax malevolent spirits from the ailing and restore health to those suffering under the weight of relentless tooth pain. Gathered in secret beneath the bowers of the forest, these conjurers blend spoken word and rhythm, their voices rising and falling like the breath of the woods themselves. Each chant resonates with the force of intention, seeking communion with ancient forces, healing through the melodic movements of sound. Though some in the village regard these rituals with skepticism or fear, for many, they provide a beacon amid the shadows, a means to navigate the uncertainties of life with the comfort of age-old customs. Through the ages, these magic-infused practices evolve, inspiring both devotion and debate, yet they continue to offer solace where science hesitates. As the day unfolds and you step further into the village activities, you carry these charms and tokens with you, not just physical manifestations but as embodiments of collective belief. Under their influence, there is comfort in knowing they guide your steps and watch over you. Sunlight spills over the cobblestones as the world wakes fully, illuminating the delicate weave of faith and mystery that underpins medieval life. Every charm and every amulet glimmers under its shine, whispering secrets of ancient worlds and bearing witness to the resilience shared by all who seek protection. Settling into the cadence of the day's endeavors, you find strength in these connections, a spiritual map guiding past hurdles, filled with hope for the future. The village continues its symphonic pulse, blending faith, goodwill, and the intervals of human endeavor harmoniously, stitching each day with enduring presence and purpose. As the sun dances its way toward the west, casting a golden glow over the medieval village, your thoughts drift toward the inevitable nature of time and change. Today, you find yourself witnessing the subtle transition from ancient to more modern practices in the evolving landscape of dental care, a gradual shift that has quietly begun to unfurl its presence in your world. The winding roads of your village, once traversed by simple traders and weary travelers, are now frequented by a new breed of sojourner merchants and scholars, bearing glimpses of burgeoning knowledge from afar. With them come whispers of progress, new methods for tending to teeth that reflect broader changes sweeping across the known world. In the village square, the shared space where news travels faster than the swiftest steed, people gather, exchanging stories of discoveries as if they were the most precious of commodities. Among the tales are accounts of distant lands where advances in medical understanding start to reshape the approach to oral health. From the bustling ports and universities comes news of developments in materials and techniques, porcelain powders, and refined silica to clean teeth more gently than the grainy ashes of old. In certain city markets, one might even chance upon rudimentary toothbrushes with bristles as fine and even as a noble's comb, crafted to better reach every nook and cranny. Historians still debate the origins of these innovations. Do they swirl together from ancient wisdom brought back by sailors, or do they rise from scholars piecing together anatomical knowledge from times forgotten? What remains unquestionable is that these changes signal a departure from medieval practices. Yet, amid these myriad innovations, there is a distinct sense of balance, a recognition that not all of the new supplants the old. The wisdom of the past is not eradicated, it is synthesized, merged with the new to create practices which draw upon the strengths of both tradition and innovation. As you move through the market stalls, your gaze meets that of the local barber surgeon, whose collection of instruments now features shiny new tools alongside the time-worn favorites. While still fluent in age-old remedies and extractions, he too embraces these changes, adding to his repertoire skills gleaned from visits to larger towns. These transitional times can evoke both excitement and trepidationa fluctuation, embodied in the guarded enthusiasm witnessed in the faces of fellow villagers. Curiosity battles with tradition, yet there is a universal acknowledgement that such shifts often hold the keys to improved well-being. Even the language around oral care expands, as new terms and concepts appear, reflecting the emerging field of dentistry, a profession beginning to shape its identity amidst the age-old craft of healing arts. With this evolution comes a gradual shift in values and behaviors, as people begin to view teeth as not only functional but a tangible reflection of one's overall health and hygiene. As you contemplate these changes, there is quiet gratitude in knowing that the march of progress does not erase history. Rather, it honors it, melding the medieval spirit with glimpses of the modern age. This transformation is a collective one, inviting each soul to choose their path with newfound freedom and understanding. As the sun sets, painting the horizon in resplendent hues, you realize that you are part of a continuum, neither static nor complacent, but living amidst a narrative that has unfolded across generations. Each morning brings with it new potential, ensuring that practices and beliefs, old and new, can coexist within the fabric of your life. The village settles into twilight, its pulse steady and enduring. With a gentle sigh, you prepare for the night, embracing the promise that tomorrow holds, wrapped in the comforting notion that change is both a catalyst and companion on a journey where roots run deep and branches reach ever upward. As night sweeps over the village with its velvety embrace, you find yourself pondering the legacy of medieval dental care and its impact on the practices we know today. This final reflection ties together the strands of history, innovation, and human ingenuity that have woven their way through centuries of striving for oral health. From the dawn of using twigs and herbs, to the gradual incorporation of animal ingredients and rudimentary pastes, medieval peasants exhibited a remarkable resilience and adaptability in their pursuit of cleanliness. Despite the constraints of their era, they crafted a blueprint that echoes through time, laying the groundwork for modern dental practices. The influence of these early techniques can still be felt. The simple chew sticks have evolved into sophisticated toothbrushes, embodying the same principle of manual cleaning. Herbal remedies from the village fields have transcended their humble beginnings, becoming the active ingredients in contemporary toothpastes and mouthwashes. Even the basic understanding of diet's role in dental health holds true, as today's dietary recommendations reflect wisdom known to medieval folks who prized grains and vegetables. As you walk through the quiet village streets, the air carries with it a sense of tranquility. The gentle hum of the wind through the trees, the faint rustling of leaves, and the distant hoot of an owl set a serene backdrop for contemplation. Historians, too, argue whether the medieval practices were more functional survival tools or the early harbingers of intentional hygiene. Regardless, the enduring spirit of those tooth-cleaning traditions becomes a gentle reminder of humanity's tireless quest for betterment. In your own life, you witness a melding of eras, where cherished traditions meet burgeoning knowledge, creating a dance of past and present. As you consider this legacy, you feel honored to be part of this continuum that honors the wisdom of yesteryears while forging pathways into an enlightened tomorrow. Retracting into the familiar warmth of your home, you let the day's reflections wash over you, soothed by the realization that each small action contributes to a larger, ongoing story. The timelessness of these practices whispers of a unity that binds us all, transcending the barriers of time, distance, and knowledge. As the village quiets into a hush and the stars blanket the sky with their gentle presence, you prepare to embrace restful slumber. The labor and learning of our medieval ancestors have not been swallowed by time. Instead, they form the roots that support today's advancements, grounding us in gratitude and guiding us toward future horizons. Against the comforting darkness, you find yourself cradled by the ancient rhythms of the village life. It is here, in the gentle lull of centuries and the hope of days to come, that the essential truth becomes clear: the pursuit of health and knowledge is an eternal journey, carried by the hearts of those who walk before us and those who come after. With a quiet, reassuring whisper, the village bids you good night. Sweet dreams,